Hello YouTube. I want to talk about the internet and the danger that our politicians are placing on it. There is a new bill going through the House of Lords, which on the face of it looks like the very idea that David Cameron has been putting on the ISPs to block porn by default. This bill, rather than being voluntary, would make it law. But like I said, that's what it looks on the face of it. Or at least according to Jeremy Barrett. I think his name is. I can't really pronounce it. I'm so sorry, Jeremy. Or Jerry. Because according to him, this is actually different. I have spoken to him with him about this, and we kind of differ a bit. But ultimately, it is the same opt-in, opt-out idea till you get to the bottom, where it talks about the providers of services must provide an age verification which meet the standards of Ofcom. Technically, they mean ATVOD, which is a subsidiary of Ofcom. ATVOD are designed to monitor and regulate the video-on-demand services. But they have a very specific rule concerning porn. It's called Rule 11. You might notice it's actually very hard to get UK porn. Or if you even try. The thing is, it's virtually non-existent UK pornography. Because, on the internet anyway, because all free content, this includes trailers and promos, must be behind a subscription wall. So basically, you can't even see what you're getting before you're paying for it. And you can only subscribe via credit card. That is the regulation in this country. Now what Jeremy says, with this law, and this is where we kind of differ a bit, so he says that the providers of the service has an age verification policy which meets the standards of Ofcom. He says this would mean that if the websites, the individual websites, do not have the British regulation style, then they must be automatically blocked, whether you've opted in or not. I'm a bit curious, however, and I have noted this to him, that it might also be referring to the internet service providers having their own age verification thing, as opposed to referring to the websites themselves. We differ on it. He is saying that this is the websites. I am saying I don't know if it's the websites or the internet service providers. The one thing we do agree on, however, is the bill is very badly worded. But more so, they've changed the word porn, when in terms of what they're blocking, from porn to adult content. So now, if any form of adult content, if Jeremy Barrett is right, if adult content does not hold these regulations that are designed for pornography, then everything is blocked. If this really is the case, this is one of the most threatening laws to the internet. Mostly because there is no way they could do it successfully. Not unless they applied their filtering system, which blocks all content, all adult content, detects adult and blocks it. They'd have to have an automatic block, whether you opt in or not. When you're opting in, you are merely opting in to the whitelist of websites which Ofcom have approved. And this list does exist. But there are very few on it. And even then, that only applies to the porn sites, not adult content. Which is what the ISPs will be blocking. The ISPs, through their voluntary method, will be blocking adult content, which would also relate to websites about eating disorders, but more importantly, and this is something that must be made clear if this really is a blanket ban, this will block websites designed to help people who are in abusive relationships, because those have notably been blocked by filters before, and they will be blocked again. But this will blanket it so that you can't even opt in to see them. Personally, I would like to see this law completely scrapped altogether, as I do not approve of the default on filters. What really needs to be seen right now, however, if we're going to take this one step at a time, legal clarity. I am not a campaigner, and it's unlikely anyone's ever going to see this video. But I urge someone, please, just so we can have some sort of legal clarity, some sort of campaigns. Anyone who can campaign, please campaign. Someone please, make a petition on 38 degrees so that we can have this legal clarity. Or to just abolish the very idea, because we don't need it. It's now more, and it's more important than ever, that you view websites like Sex and Censorship. On top of all this, there's also the fact that we are on this slippery slope. I think we are technically on a slippery slope to censorship. Jeremy Barrett believes that this is the thing with Cameron's filters. To be honest, I don't think Cameron is intentionally trying to censor us. I may put us into an element, Britain into an element of censorship. I should say it's not even Cameron who's suggested this law. This is a baroness in the House of Lords. I think Cameron's idea is incredibly misguided. I think he is trying to be a nice father and trying to save people, but he's very misguided about it, and he is providing the means to censorship for a future government to censor us. And this has all been part of the... So we have had some obscenity laws come in since 2008, new obscenity laws in 2008, and they can be seen as quite dangerous to many people who simply have different interests. Not necessarily illegal interests either. To understand what I'm talking about, please visit backlash.org. It's an umbrella organisation to provide legal advice for this sort of thing. On top of this, if you are caught in any of this, then please contact Miles Jackman. He's got great legal advice in this situation. He has defended many clients under these things. And I'd also like to make a point about David Cameron's whole ISP filtering in general. He was on Jeremy Vine, and on that program he actually, when asked about the fact that there are now many partners who are going to have to tell their wives or husbands or whatever they want to opt into this, and his argument to that was, oh, well, they're just going to have a conversation with their partner, aren't they? That's pretty easy for him to say, for a man who has already decided he doesn't want porn in the house. And that's fine, because that's his decision. He's the parent. He can make the choice. But he's not making it easy for everyone else. On top of this, his whole argument is about, oh, just have to talk to your partner then. So you're saying, under that logic, he's saying, well, you shouldn't have to be embarrassed about talking about porn then if you want it. Equally, under that same logic, doesn't that mean that it's better to talk about pornography rather than trying to block it? It's deeply hypocritical what he's trying to do. I think this whole default on is a bad idea. And if this bill that's going through really will block us, then I think that's an incredibly bad idea. As it will be very difficult for us to even have our say. please, someone do something to try and stop these dangerous laws getting through.